A very good evening and welcome to the national broadcast. I'm Malsha Dharmavardhana.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Charita Minipurarachi and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
The Golden Gate Kalyani has been vested with the people. The new airfield to station aircraft at the Katanaika Airport will be declared open tomorrow. The booster vaccine to all the citizens above the ages of 20 years. The Gazette notification banning the importation of chemical fertilizer has been withdrawn. Relief on green agriculture continues. 3 suspects have been arrested in connection with the Kenya ferry accident. Ethiopia on the brink of a war situation.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with local stories. The Golden Gate Kalyani, or the New Kalani Bridge, Sri Lanka's first ever bridge built on high technology cables, was vested with the people by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at a ceremony this evening. The President and the Prime Minister have officially declared open the bridge by unveiling a commemoration plaque at the entrance of the bridge. Thereafter, the President has declared open the colour light system. A significant increase in the number of vehicles entering the city has been observed with the opening of the Colombo-Katanaika Expressway. As a result of the influx of vehicles coming via the main roads of Puttalam and Kandy, a heavy traffic congestion was being witnessed daily in all roads between Pahaliyagoda, Oragodavatta and Igurukade Junction. As it has been found out that the existing Kalaniya Bridge was not big enough to withstand the vehicle capacity, initial preparations have been made in 2012 for the construction of a bridge and road network. Accordingly, a feasibility study has been completed in 2013 and a contractual agreement signed in 2014. The construction of a new bridge with 6 lanes linking the Colombo-Katanaika Expressway has commenced under the aid and technical knowledge of the Japan International Cooperation Agency. The road network with the bridge is comprised of 2 sections. A sum of 9,896 million rupees has been spent for the building of a concrete bridge spanning 380 meters across the Kalani River. Further, 31,539 million rupees has been spent on the entrance, interchange and the section of the bridge made out of steel.
We all know that Japan and Sri Lanka have had friendly relations for many years. In other words, Japan and Sri Lanka are truly best friends. It is a great honor to inaugurate the Golden Gate Kalyani Bridge, which is a symbol of this Kalyana Mitraya. And Japan is helping to build this new bridge today. The new bridge over Kalani River has reached its completion after 4 years. I indeed hope this will improve the chronic traffic congestion on the Kalani Bridge, which has been a bottleneck to smooth traffic in Colombo for many years. Japan's cordial relationship with Sri Lanka dates back to 1952, when our diplomatic relation was established. And since then, Japan has provided a wide range of assistance in the field of transportation, both urban as well as rural areas of Sri Lanka. The bridge constructed under this project is divided into 2 main sections. The first is a section leading to the port access elevated road, which was constructed using a relatively light steel bridge to facilitate the lifting of the bridge girders by crane. The other section is a new bridge over the Kalani River, first ever extra-dosed engineering design project in Sri Lanka. This engineering design was first introduced in Japan, and since then it is being built all over the world with the support of Japan and its specialized technology. This type of bridge eliminates the need to build piers in the Kalani River, and that piers do not interfere with the flow of the river, allowing the river water to flow safely during floods and helping to prevent disasters. We are delighted to have been able to transfer Japanese state-of-the-art technology to Sri Lanka through this project. It will surely help to boost the economy of Sri Lanka. I also believe that this new iconic bridge will be a symbol of friendship between Japan and Sri Lanka, as well as new landmark at the gateway to Colombo. which will create a familiar landscape to the people of Colombo people. It will be a truly a bridge connecting Japan to Sri Lanka as true friend. I would like to once again express my gratitude to the President, Prime Minister, Minister Fernando, and all the dedicated officials of the Ministry of Highways and the RDA for their understanding and continuous diligent support to make this project successful. We would also like to express our gratitude to JICA. I assure you that Japan will continue to cooperate with Sri Lanka in various fields, including infrastructure development, to meet the needs of Sri Lanka as we are at the edge of celebrating the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that there has never been a government than the present government which has rendered service to the farmer community. They include provisions of fertilizer free of charge, increasing the guaranteed prices for farm produce. The government has accepted the massive task of providing a nutritious meal without poisonous substances. The work was hampered due to the COVID pandemic, rainfall and sometimes the lack of commitment of the officials. The president, commenting on the Easter Sunday attack, said that they handed over a strong security system which the previous government neglected, paving the way to militancy. The previous regime also broke down the morale of the security personnel. The result of the Easter Sunday incident, the president also said that the commission appointed to look into the Easter Sunday attack has clearly stated that the president, the prime minister and the cabinet of the previous regime was responsible for the incident. The reports have been handed over to the parliament and the CID. He added that they will not engage in political vengeance. He has stressed to maintain the freedom of judiciary.
The newly constructed airfield to the station aircraft at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake will be declared open tomorrow. This is the second biggest development project in the country which has been carried out under the project to expand facilities at the BIA. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa will preside over tomorrow's inauguration ceremony. The Katunayake Airport has remained as an air facility under the direction of the British Royal Air Force during the colonial regime. In the year 1944, the centre has been known as the RKF Station Nikambo. In the year 1958, the late Prime Minister SWRD Bandaranaike had redirected the centre under the control of the Royal Ceylon Air Force. Subsequently, it was developed under the Canadian aid. It was Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa who had laid the foundation stone for the construction of the new aircraft yard, which was implemented as a joint Japan-Sri Lanka project. The total cost of the construction is 6.1 billion rupees. The estimated cost of the entire development project is expected to exceed 1,000 billion rupees. With the implementation of the new project, the facilities to station aircraft would increase to 49, which is doubling of the existing facilities. The ultimate completion of the project would witness an increasing in the setting up of inspection counters to 149 from 53. It would also enhance the number of immigration counters to 53 from 21 and the number of immigration counters to 83 from 27. The number of airport entrances would also be increased to 16 from 6 and the number of service restrooms to 10 from 4. The prominent objective of the project is to turn the Katunayake Airport into an international aviation center in Asia, which links the East with the West.
And on your local update of the COVID-19 pandemic, Minister of Health Kehali Rambukwella says that it has been decided to inoculate the COVID booster vaccine to all citizens above the age of 20 years. It has also been decided to grant permission to conduct weddings, screenings of films in cinema halls and other ceremonies under the health guidelines. Minister of Health Kehali Rambukwella said up to now nearly 75% of the entire population have been inoculated with both doses of the vaccine. The minister has termed the success as a significant victory. He added that the necessary background will be laid in the next few days to administer the third dose to all those who are above the age of 20 years. The programs to administer the booster vaccine to those persons with low immunity above the age of 20 years and also to persons above the age of 60 years have taken place in many districts today as well. So far, it has been reported that 31,018,325 persons have been inoculated against the COVID-19 disease. The first dose of the vaccine has been provided to 15,916,995 persons. The number of persons who have received both doses of the vaccine is 13,721,117. The booster vaccine has been inoculated on 380,213 persons. 518 COVID-19 infected persons have been identified in the island today. The number of those receiving treatment on corona disease is 17,244. 401 COVID patients have been cured today. The total number of fully recovered patients is 527,929. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed 23 COVID-19 related deaths yesterday. 18 fatalities were of the age of 60 years and above. 4 fatalities were between the ages of 30 and 59 years. The remaining victim was under the age of 30 years.
Deputy Director General of Health Dr. Hemant Herath says that the public should strictly follow the COVID-19 health guidelines during the festive season in order to avoid another outbreak in the country.
Now we are reaching the next festive season, and what is needed is to impose any restrictions or anything before early or on time or late, but to ensure and make sure that we are not going to create a situation which is going to compel the authorities to impose any restrictions for which we can do in relation to the shopping malls, the other public gatherings, public places, and all other law enforcing or management teams should plan today itself and make sure that we are not going to get unnecessary crowding at public places or at shopping malls or any other shopping complexes, so that the risk of spreading the disease will be increased, and also by creating an environment so that the people are going to purchase their commodities in a hygienic manner without leaving any room to spread the disease. That can be started today itself, and thereby preventing any circumstances or situation or an environment conducive of imposing unnecessary or unwanted strict restrictions during the latter part of the festive season. Thereby we can make sure that every citizens of Sri Lanka will enjoy a charm but socially acceptable level of enjoyment of your festive season.
And more on your local stories, the government has decided to withdraw with effect from today the Gazette notification which was issued on the 26th of April this year banning the importation of chemical fertilizers. Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage says that the decision has been taken when the cabinet met yesterday. However, the minister has reiterated at a media briefing to convey cabinet decisions today that there has not been any change in the government policy towards a green agriculture. Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage has stated that as a government sensitive to the wishes of the people, they have decided yesterday to revoke the Gazette notification dated 26th of April this year with effect from today. The minister added that accordingly permission is granted to import chemical fertilizer, insecticides and fungicides with effect from today. However, there has not been any change in the government policy regarding green agriculture. The private sector is permitted to sell the imported quantities of chemical fertilizer in the market. Minister Alutgamage further said that the government fertilizer subsidy and programs relating to the provisions of necessary seeds and other forms of relief will continue to remain as usual. The provisions of a guaranteed price from paddy and technological facilities will remain valid as well. The minister has also pointed out that all, including farmers and politicians, have extolled the value of organic fertilizer. Yet, the farmers were engaged in demanding chemical fertilizer on numerous occasions. Accordingly, the government has withdrawn its Gazette notification banning chemical fertilizer and related products. It has also been disclosed on the occasion that the government has decided to provide compensation for the cultivation lands affected by the inclement weather condition. Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage also said that the government has decided to provide compensation on agricultural lands affected by the bad weather condition. Crops damage have been reported on many crops include fruits and vegetables. Minister Dalasalaha Peruma said on this occasion that it has been decided to implement the acidity insurance coverage without any contributions of the media institutions or media personnel. Minister Dalasalah Peruma said that the arrangements have been made to present agri-insurance coverage in the morning on the 2nd of next month under the patronage of the President and the Prime Minister. Updating of bills relating to the major institutions that come under the purview of the Minister of the Mass Media will also be carried out. The Minister has also reiterated the need to relieve the state institutions from the dependency on the Treasury or their sustainers. The Minister also said that the cabinet paper submitted by him to find a new avenue for the independent existence of state institutions has been endorsed by the cabinet.
Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alutgamage made remarks over the Chinese fertilizer company and its fertilizer shipment at a media briefing held today.
The issue we are having is not with the Chinese government. The issue is with this particular shipment. So they have not taken the license to bring this shipment. So we have very clearly told them to follow the procedure. There is an international tender. We have given them the specifications. They have to follow the specifications. So now they have came to understanding that they will take the ship back and send the samples again. And then we can do the retesting and we can get the shipment. So at the moment, there is a court case. We don't have any allegations. We don't have any issues with the Chinese government or this particular company. The problem is only with this particular shipment. There are pathogens in this shipment. So we are not in a position to, according to the Sri Lankan law, we are not in a position to get this.
Today is the second day of the committee stage debate on the budget of 2022. Votes on the ministers of Buddhasasana, religious and cultural affairs, provincial councils and local government and affiliate state ministries were taken up at debate today. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that his ministry is planning to implement numerous projects to develop and protect places of Buddhist worship. Measures have also been taken for the welfare places of veneration of other religions and clergymen. A substantial sum is being spent annually to develop Buddhist, Hindu, Christian and Muslim Dhamma schools. The Archaeology Department, the Central Cultural Fund, the Department of Museums are to be restructured with the objective of fulfilling the national identity.
බෞද්ධ හින්දු ක්‍රිස්තියානි සහ මුස්ලිම් කටයුතු දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව හරහා වැය කරනවා. ආගමතර සාජීවනය වැඩි දියුණු කිරීමෙන් අන්‍යෝන්‍ය සහයෝගිතා යුතුව ජීවත් වන ජන සමාජයක් බිහි කිරීම වෙනුවෙන් මේ සියල්ල කරන්නේ. ඒ අනුව පුරාවිද්‍යා දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව මධ්‍යම සංස්කෘතික අරමුදල ජාතික කෞතුකාගාර දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව ප්‍රතිව්‍යුහ ගත කරමින් ජාතික අනන්‍යතාව මතු පරපුරට උරුම කර මේ අපගේ වගකීම ඉටු කරමින් සිටින බව ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න ඕන. අපිට පුළුවන්
Parliamentarian Ranjit Madhuma Bandara said that the Buddha Put Surakshana, my apologies, Buddha Put Surakshana Varna program to ensure bhikkhus established by the previous regime has been taken away by the present government. Minister Vidura Vikramanayaka said that not a single bhikkhu was given facilities through insurance coverage until the presidential election 2019. The insurance packages came into being thereafter.
ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලා 79කට මේ රක්ෂණ ක්‍රමය මගින් උදව් උපකාර කරලා තියෙනවා. බුදුපුත් සුරක්ෂා ක්‍රමය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා කියන පදනම මම දන්නේ. නැවතත් එකම බොරුව වපුරනවා. අපි ආණ්ඩුවට කියනවා අද පළාත් සභා ඉවර වෙලා අවුරුදු 3ක් වෙන. අපි ලෑස්ති පළාත් සභා මැතිවන්ට යන්න. ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයේ දුන්නොත් තීරණය
Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the verdict of the Supreme Court is that election could not be conducted under the existing law. He added that accordingly they have agreed to draft a new law and hold elections according to this law.
ආණ්ඩුව අලුතෙන් නීතිය ගෙනල්ලා ඒ නීතිය අනුව ඡන්දේ පවත්වන්න. උන්වහන්සේලා කරපු වැරදි නිවැරදි සභානායකතුමා අපි කටයුතු කරන්න.
Minister Janaka Bandara Tennikon says that his ministry is engaged in the process of recruiting 53,000 graduates into the state service as development officials. Plans are underway to make permanent these officials on the 1st of January 2022. MP Lakshman Kiriyalla said there are around 600 graduates doing labourers service. MP Vijitha Herat said that the government's policy statement has clearly illustrated on the problem of salary anomalies in the pensions. It has stated that a separate commission will be appointed to immediately remove salary anomalies in state service. He has questioned whether even a study had been conducted in this regard.
The 3 suspects taken into custody over the Kenya ferry accident in Trincomalee have been placed under detention till the 8th of this month. They were residents of Periyathamule in Kenya. The craft has met with the accident when it was carrying a group including school children across the Kurinyakani Lagoon in Kenya yesterday morning. 6 children were killed and 20 others were injured in the incident. The victims have been identified 4 children between the age of 3 and 8, 32-year-old women and a 70-year-old man. Persons injured in the accident are undergoing treatment at the Kenya hospital and 2 more injured persons at the hospitals in Kilinochchi and Trincomalee. The owner and the operator of the ferry have arrested today upon the surrender at the Trincomalee police station today. The Kenya police station has also arrested the person responsible for collecting travelling charges of the barge. The 3 suspects were aged 35, 40 and 53 years. They have been produced before the Trincomalee Magistrates Court. Opinions have been expressed over the incident in Parliament today as well.
And meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed the officials today to expedite constructions to develop the Dadigama Kotavehira Rajamahaviharasthana as a sacred area. He has given the orders at a discussion held at the Prime Minister's office in the Parliamentary complex to look into the development activities of the Viharasthana. The Prime Minister has also informed the officials to commence development work after preparing the 3-dimension plans pertaining to the reconstruction of the Vihara. The Prime Minister has focused special attention on the new entranceway to be constructed with the setting up of a facade. He has also looked into the building of a multi-purpose facility, a Poesima Malaka and the 4 Devalayas. Chief incumbent of the Dadigama Rajamahaviharasthana, Venerable Utnapitiya Vimalathera and Venerable Aludnuvara Sumana of the Vihara. We are also present at the meeting. Parliamentary Udayakanta Gunatilaka, Secretary to the Ministry of Buddhisasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Professor Kapila Gunawardana, Director General of Archaeology, Professor Anura Manatunga, and Director of Sacred Areas, W.T.R. Vitana, have also attended the event.
Minister of Environment Mahinda Amaraveera says that everyone must work together to protect and conserve the environment. He made these remarks while attending the anniversary celebration of the Central Environmental Authority today. An international conference was organized to mark the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the Central Environmental Authority. The international conference, which was commenced today, will be held tomorrow as well at the BMICH premises. The objective of the conference is to create a platform for the environmentalists around the world to gather and share new knowledge on domestic and global trends on environmental conservation.
Today, in every sphere, we are confronted with complex challenges. We face a host of local and global environmental challenges. Our commitment is to overcome these challenges. Climate change is a serious environmental issue that has gripped the entire world. Under the leadership of His Excellency the President, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, giving pride of place of the protection of environment while laying a sustainable socio-economic foundation enabling people to fulfill their requirements. Despite the restrictions imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic, implementing the government policy, we remain committed to overcome these barriers. In compliance with international environmental treaties, we look forward in achieving global sustainable development goals set forth by the United Nations. Issues and challenges triggered by climate change and the COVID-19 outbreak, we all should work in union to rebuild the sustainability of a safer environment.
Today, the topic of climate change is high on all agendas, and that's not just related to the recent COP26. It's mostly because every day somewhere in the world we are being confronted with the consequences of climate change. Floods, droughts, fires, hunger, conflicts. Just like Dutch farmers, Sri Lankan farmers already feel the effects of climate change. Dry areas are getting drier and wet areas are getting wetter. This requires two things: research and action. Firstly, we require research into climate change and adaptation. What is happening literally in the field? Independent scientific research is tremendously important. It forms the basis of concerted action to reach the Sustainable Development Goals. Agricultural research can provide a common understanding, new methods of irrigation, or create drought-resistant varieties of crops. It can also increase productivity and profitability. And this will not only benefit the farmers, but also consumers and, in general, food security in Sri Lanka. So since many years, the Netherlands has provided for exchange of knowledge and expertise with Sri Lanka, and we will continue to do so. Secondly, we need action. We know that climate change is reducing agricultural yields and soil fertility. The Netherlands is involved in various partnerships with Sri Lankan organizations to fast-track sustainable food production and fine-tune methods to grow and produce food with less water, energy, and less raw materials. We focus our partnerships on the horticulture, dairy, and poultry sectors. And in all those sectors, we've been training trainers in Sri Lanka on several subjects, like integrated pest management, or in the dairy sector, we also did training on sustainable dairy feed and waste management. In the coming years, I foresee the deepening of this agricultural cooperation. Dutch agricultural companies and knowledge institutions stand ready to work with Sri Lankan partners to make the transformation to climate-smart agriculture. Sri Lanka looks like paradise in many ways. And let us, for the sake of our children, for the sake of our planet, give this paradise the attention and the governance it deserves.
The situation today, I would say, Mother Earth is in a critical condition. Mother Earth is hospitalized. The Mother Earth is hospitalized, and she is not in just a normal ward, she is in a high dependency, if not intensive care. The patient at that level cannot stand up on his or her own. So therefore, you need to resuscitate the patient so that salvage the patient out of this condition. When it comes to environment, the globe, the Mother Earth, I believe that Mother Earth cannot salvage her condition on her own. Therefore, the Mother Earth depends on her own dependence. That's about 8 billion population in the world. So that's all of us. So therefore, I think the environmental governance is very important in broader context of its meaning. Most of the environmental issues are due to careless lapses of environmental governance throughout the history. So therefore, I believe this conference lay emphasis on environmental governance.
Environmental governance is one of the tools to improve the environmental qualities. Good governance is a common denominator ensuring transparency and inclusiveness in ecosystem management planning when it comes to environmental governance, decision making and accountability, equitable enforcement of laws and rules, monitoring, knowledge outreach and access, all these are important, and most importantly, benefit sharing at all different levels.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.